Hey there, welcome to today's Daily Distinction. I was about this close from saying Happy Monday. Is anybody else? Of course, it's all running together. Who knows what day is it? It's April 97th. Hi, everybody. Good to see you. Glad you were here today. Thank you for jumping on and watching today's Daily Distinction. I really appreciate it. We have a special show lined up because my compadre on our Sunday night, the Ken and Glenn Show with a guy named Scott, is joining us today. He is the guru of all things live streaming, Ken Walls, and Ken's going to be with us in just a second. But before we get to Ken, just want to let you know that Thursday we've got a special guest, Stacy Hankey. She's fantastic, and she is just one of the leading experts in the world on influence and what we need to know about leadership and influence, and especially during this time where leaders and managers aren't face to face with some of the people that they're leading. How do we do this in a virtual world? What changes? What happens? So Stacy is going to be with us on Thursday. I know that you're going to want to see this. Before I get to Ken and talking about live streaming, I also want to show you something that I posted today. I posted it on LinkedIn. It's on Facebook, and it's a project that we're doing. We're putting the data together right now. But I wanted to show you this and have you watch this video. And if you're on LinkedIn or if you're on Facebook and you have a question, please take a look. There it is. And I want to show you the video that accompanies
If you're a meeting professional, event planner, professional speaker, someone that loves to attend conferences, the pandemic has devastated the meetings industry. So what happens next? For the better part of my career, I've been keynoting the world's largest and most extraordinary conferences. It's a fundamental change for all of us in the meetings industry. For the past few days, I've been conducting a survey of meeting professionals, conference attendees, and professional speakers to find out what they think about post-pandemic events. And I got to tell you, the results are eye-opening, in some cases even shocking. The information could save you thousands of dollars at your next meeting or mean that your next event won't be what you hope it is. So over the next few days, I'll be letting you know what the results of that survey are and providing specific solutions for where we need to go with post-pandemic events. So stay tuned. But another important thing is, even though the survey is closed, I'd still love your participation. If you had a crystal ball and could get any question answered about post-pandemic events, what would that be? Leave it in the comments below this video, and I'll have more information on it for you in the next few days.
So that's on Facebook. It is on LinkedIn. It is on what else? Twitter. And I'd love to know what your comments are about where things are going post pandemic. What's going to happen in terms of what happens to events and all of that. So that's what I'm looking forward to sharing with you. And I'll be sharing the results of the survey. And like I said, there were some things in there that really were eye-opening for me, and I think will be for you too if you're involved in meeting planning or conventions, conferences, whether you're a speaker or a meeting professional or even just a conference attendee. You're gonna enjoy it. Hey, Mike, thank you very much. Glad that you are here today, and thanks for everybody else tuning in. Let's get him on here. As I mentioned, he is my friend from the Ken and Glenn Show. Yeah, the man with the top billing. Show. With a guy named Scott. It's my buddy Ken Walls. Ken, it's so good to have you here. Thank you for being here.
So honored, man. I'm really honored to be here. I really am.
You need to raise your standards, pal. I'm telling you. I'm really glad you're here. So thanks, Scott, saying hi, Scott and Ken. You bet.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. So. Ken, let's just, I mean, the problem is you and I are pals, and we can sit here and tell jokes and laugh for 30 minutes, but
we could. I'm just glad that you said that you would do an hour and a half long show today. That's great.
I'd love to. By the way, if you haven't seen it, and I really encourage you to do so, we have our Ken and Glenn Show with a guy named Scott every Sunday night at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. And holy cow, and let's talk about that for just a second. Holy cow. We had the viewers this weekend. It was crazy. Thank you, Jeffrey Gittimer, as our guest. But man, oh man, it was amazing.
That was without Gittimer even sharing it on his page.
Yeah.
We had a lot of people on there. That was, I mean, and you know what? I think we're going to be accused of having too much fun.
I think people I've talked to that haven't seen the show say, well, okay, that's strange, because Ken is in personal coaching and training and live streaming, and Scott, you're a author and speaker, and here you've got one of the great character actors in all of entertainment. So what do you guys talk about? And I said about 90 minutes. That's what we talk about. We have so much fun on the show, and it's really, really cool to do and to be a part of. So
it's a lot of fun, man. You know what? I'm so glad that you're part of it. I really am. It's like the I don't know, man. We're the three amigos. It feels like
we have a good time. There's no doubt about that. So everybody tune in for that. Ken, let's jump into, man. It's there's an old Shakespearean quote about leadership, and that some are born leaders, some are made leaders, some have leadership thrust upon them. And when you look at what you do in terms of live streaming and communicating virtually, man, talk about something that's been thrust upon you. The pandemic has driven so much attention to this. So how has the pandemic affected what you talk about?
Well, so I have personally never been as busy as I am right now. I look tired because I am. I mean, I was telling somebody a little bit ago, I'm working on this giant in-house project and for a training system that I have, and I was up to, I mean, I'm so, they say when you do what you love, it's no longer becomes work. And so I literally was sitting here and I was like, man, I'm feeling tired. What time is it? 3:30 a.m. last night. I look up and I'm like, oh my God, that's why I'm tired. I got to get to bed. But I think, man, it's changed everything for everyone. I think that this pandemic has, even if, and we've had some discussions about, is it ever going to go back to the way it was? And I have a feeling that Leanne Isaacson, she's such a sweetheart.
She is great.
She's amazing. But
it's 5 a.m. her time, by the way, just after 5 a.m. in Australia. So when she says good morning,
she means it.
She means it. Hey, Leanne, it's Tuesday there. If you could send us the Monday night's lottery numbers, we'd really appreciate that too, if you would.
Yeah, that'd be great. So I do think that it has changed for everyone. Yeah. This is literally, I have so many people that are hitting me up asking me, how do I do Zoom? How do I do a webinar? How do I go live? How do I develop a show, a podcast, and et cetera, et cetera? And it's literally nonstop. Plus I'm working on my own stuff. So it is nonstop right now. It's never, ever, ever been like this for me, ever.
Ken, some of that is the pandemic. I would guess some of it too is the technology is finally catching up where people are able to connect and they enjoy doing that. Would you agree? Is that, I mean, the technology has gotten to the point that we can have this kind of conversation. We've got across all the channels, we got 70, 80 people watching now, and I'm doing about somewhere around 1,000 views a day by the time you add the replays. And it's just, it blows me away.
Dude, the technology, like this technology that we're using right now, it is so advanced. You're sitting there with the controls and being able to switch screens like you are, share your screen and get your message out. I literally took notes this morning as I was writing out my goals and some ideas that I always do when I meditate and all that in the morning. And I wrote down, because I have so many people that are like, yeah, but what about industry specific stuff, Ken? I mean, you have this this course teaching people how to do live streaming and stuff, which you've talked a lot about, and I thank you for that, by the way.
You're very
But
welcome.
the a realtor asked me, and I'll just use a realtor as an example. If I was a realtor, I would have a show that would similar to what you're doing, right? Except for I would be in people's homes, and if I was trying to get listings, I would figure out ways to do live streams of the for sale by owner homes out there. I would get the customers involved in the live stream. Hey, tell everybody why they should buy this house and what memories you have, how great it is for kids, or what's the swimming pool like, or whatever. I would be doing a live stream every single day, sometimes multiple times a day. If you're trying to make money via commission and nobody knows who you are, I mean, what are the other options? You have the option of spending money on television ads, spending money on newspaper, which I don't, does anybody read the newspaper anymore? I don't. But anyway, like, the newspaper.
I read it online, right? I mean,
yeah, right.
Seriously,
Exactly.
I read the newspaper. Yeah. I read it online.
Right. So you can spend money on Google AdWords, or, so you can make sure your ad shows up in newspapers, or you could pay them directly, or, but like, again, when there's 7.5 billion people on planet Earth, and 3.5 billion or so are on Facebook. And then you have everybody else over on YouTube and Instagram and LinkedIn, and you're not using all of these platforms. And like the video you just showed, it's funny that you showed that, because I was going to ask you off camera, like, wow, dude, who's doing your videos? That was a great video. I saw it earlier on Facebook.
I appreciate it. I do that. I edit it.
Do you really? Wow.
Yep.
Some hidden talent you have there.
Tammy shot it. Well, you got to remember, though, I used to work in TV.
That's true.
So to me, when I first started in TV, you had your 2 tape decks, and you'd put a tape in each deck, and match the deck, and you'd, so it's, to me, to be able to do this digitally is cake. I just use iMovie. That's not Final Cut Pro. It's just unless you're doing something really complex, there's no reason. Most of that you're doing iMovie. So
and people need to learn that stuff, man. I mean, it's not. I think that people have these fears of technology. And I get those calls, right? I get the calls where it's like, I'm a neophyte, and I'm this, I'm that, and I get that, but like, you gotta learn it, man, or you're gonna die. And I don't mean die as in like a physical death. I mean,
course, right. But
you're gonna become irrelevant if you're not learning this stuff.
Jerry is a good friend and a great consultant and leader, and he says the technology has kicked high gear in the present time. Yeah, it sure has, and industry specific isn't an issue. I mean, this is what lets you do industry specific. One of the things that I've been talking about is that I spent years as a broadcaster, which meant we put stuff out on the air to appeal to as many people as possible. It was broadcasting, and what we're doing now is narrowcasting. It's trying to find that narrow group that we can talk to, whether it's people interested in buying a home, or in Jerry's situation, people, blue collar owners of businesses like chimney sweeps and landscapers and things like that. So by narrowcasting, we could be really specific and precise and really make an impact, really help people out.
Well, and by using like this technology that you're sitting here with,
which you introduced me to, by the way, I want to make sure everybody knows that you were the one that got me into StreamYard. So thank you for that.
It's a phenomenal platform, and it gives you the ability to stream to multiple locations. So you can go to multiple Facebook pages, your personal Facebook page, business Facebook pages, fan pages, YouTube channel, Periscope, which is owned by Twitter. So you're live on Twitter at the same time. And then what's really cool, Scott, and I don't know if you're doing this, but I have a case study I'll tell you about. You can go to your fan page or your business page after the broadcast has ended. You can click on it, go in and edit the video and change the thumbnail that's showing up. And then you can boost that and target any audience that you want. And the reason that that would be beneficial is, number one, for branding purposes. Number two, if there's a specific call to action that you're trying to, hey, go download this free ebook. I might have one of those, but go, but go download this free ebook, or get this, or get that, or whatever. Then what's going to happen is people will watch. Now they will fast forward through it as they're watching. If they get to a point that's like, this isn't interesting, they may go skip forward. We all do that. Yeah. But yet, for example, when Glenn Morshower was on my show, I interviewed him, our buddy Glenn, the other part of the missing piece of the puzzle here. Yeah. But when he was on my show, I spent like $50. I boosted it, and I boosted it to 24 fans. I boosted it to a bunch of other pages, like like people who like Tony Robbins, or who like this or like that. You can target specific audiences with Facebook advertising, and I picked up a bunch of followers. I have 61,000 fans on my fan page, man. And it's all because I spend a little bit of money boosting posts here and there. And that just broadens my audience to get my message out. Any products or services that I want to offer, the people that I want to help, it just makes it a bigger audience. So I would encourage everyone to don't be afraid to throw a little bit of money in, learn how to do what you're doing right now, Scott. Learn how to do this, and then put this information, push it out there. Put a little bit, doesn't take that much money, 40, 50, $30. I mean, sometimes I'll spend $20 if it's a really not very interesting interview. I'm kidding. But you spend a little bit of money and you drive people to follow your page. You drive people to, you do all kinds of cool stuff with it.
How would you compare buying ads on Facebook as opposed to LinkedIn? I'm sure part of that is what your goals are, but the other part is, what do you find in terms of return and results and getting what you want?
I don't have an answer for that because I don't advertise on LinkedIn.
Gotcha.
I years ago I ran ads on LinkedIn to hire people, and it was very effective. But that's been at least 5-6 years ago. I don't advertise on LinkedIn, so I don't know. They haven't approved me. I literally own livestreamingking.com, and they won't approve me to stream on LinkedIn. Like,
I know I can't get approval to stream on LinkedIn either, and I don't get what it is.
They're being very picky, I guess. I don't know what it is. I have an employee, one of the higher ups at LinkedIn, that's supposedly working on getting me approved, but who knows?
What kills me is I'll get, in the range of 400 views of this, just posting and what I do is I post the link to the YouTube video, which I know puts me down in their algorithms, as opposed to download it and then re-upload it. But I just, for the sake of time, just do, and I'm still getting 300-400 views every day on it, and I can't get approved.
Let me give you and the audience a little trick to do for that. So if you have a YouTube video that you want to post, if you're on a Mac, it's a whole lot easier to do this, by the way. If you're on a Windows machine, God save you. I'm just kidding.
You're a man after my own heart, man. I was carrying Macs around when people would say, "Hey, why don't you get a real computer?"
I know, but so on a Mac, it's Command-Shift-4. And you can pause your video, or you just whatever, but you take a screenshot image of and I'm getting ready to drop another trick into my training platform. I'm not doing all that for free, but anyway, but this is cool. So you just take a screenshot of and make a little image out of your video, and then you post the image on LinkedIn, and then say blah 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 about the video. Please check it out. The link to the video is in the comments. So then you go back, you get the link to the URL to the YouTube video, and you post that in the comments, and their algorithm won't even notice.
Wow.
Yeah,
I want to play with that. I want to experiment and see how that.
Same exact thing you would do on Facebook. If you want to post a YouTube video on Facebook, you want to make sure you put the link in the comments.
Wow.
Never put a URL in a post on LinkedIn or Facebook. Don't do it.
Good to see you, Curtis. Thanks for being here. If you got any questions about live streaming, of course, you can pop it in here. Would love to read it with Ken. Ken, when the and I will acknowledge that you and I have divergent viewpoints on the recovery and on the pandemic. So my question is, when I'm proven right, what? No. But my question is this: regardless of what direction this takes, when there is a resolution, a vaccine or something, a drug they can administer that makes it less harmful, less lethal, and we kind of get back to, some folks are calling it the new normal. I hate that term, and you've heard me.
I do too.
But do you think that will things get back to the way they used to be, or has live streaming and Zoom meetings and virtual events and remote working, has all of that been so, because of this, is it here to stay?
Oh, I think it's here to stay for sure. I do think that there's going to be a more of a hybrid version of it. For example, my 9-year-old daughter is in a dance school. She's a dancer and competition dancer and all that. Well, they are reopening today. Today's the first day of reopening, but they have these, you have to wear a mask, you have to be a certain amount of feet apart from each other, yada yada yada. And it's a voluntary basis. If you want to show up for class, these are the rules for the social distancing and the mask stuff. Or you can continue to participate on Zoom. It's your choice. She's doing Zoom.
Interesting.
So it's a hybrid model, right?
Yeah.
It's both. And I think that you're going to see a whole lot more of, when Scott McCain does show up to speak on a stage of 25,000, well, there might only be 12,000 in the audience with 100,000 viewing on a live stream.
Yeah.
So, I think that you're going to see a much, much, much bigger version of a hybrid model, but I think more people are going to be involved and that's why it's so important that people learn how to live stream. Yeah. Like, overcome the fear, learn how to do it, hit the go live button, and deliver valuable messages.
And I think there's a progression there, isn't there? I mean,
there is.
First of all, we get comfortable with being the spectator, right?
Yeah.
And then we get more comfortable at being a participant.
Yeah.
And then we'll get more comfortable actually being the administrator, the one running the show.
Yeah.
And I think what we've got right now is people have gotten really comfortable, much more rapidly than I would have imagined, with being a spectator. People don't mind at all jumping on a Zoom call at all. Now, I think there might be a little bit more reticent about being the one that sets it up or being the one that has to look at the camera and run the show. But it's just, it's layering, it's building, it's growing.
Yeah.
This is something I want to do. And I want to make clear to everybody watching that when people are on here as my guests and they talk about their product, I do not get a spiff on that. The only people that I invite on here to talk about something is because I've used it and I believe in it and I want to share it with you. But I don't want anybody to think that I would profit from recommending something unless I'm up front and say, hey, this is an affiliate or whatever. I am not an affiliate. I don't get a spiff for this, but I am a student
of Ken's course. And Ken, would you just talk a little bit about your course? Hey, there's Lisa.
Hey, Lisa Patrick, love her
you as always. Would you just talk for a bit about what the course is for people that are interested in live streaming?
I've done technology for 26 years ish. And I was on a live stream with our buddy Jeffrey Gittimer, helping him promote his new book for free. That's what I do. And another big celebrity hopped into the comments and said, "Love you guys." And I invited him on, and he came on. So it was me and Jeffrey Gittimer and Grant. We were all on there together. And afterwards, and there were several other people that ended up coming on after Grant left, and me, Jeffrey, and so Jeffrey's wife texts me. She's like, "I need to talk to you," and I said, "Okay." And so I call her, and she's like, "You need to create a course right now." I said, "For what?" She goes, "On live streaming. Did you not see what you just did? That was unbelievable." She was just all hyped up. Like, yeah. I'm like, they make decaffeinated brands with just as much flavor.
Jennifer's great, man. She is something else.
I love her. She's amazing. Yeah. So I said, "Okay." And she's like, "Here, check this out." And she showed me some things that she was doing and Jeffrey's doing. And I was like, wow, that is pretty simple and cut and dry. So I sat down and I wrote out a course curriculum. Like, if I were going to do a course teaching people how to live stream, what would I, thank you, Weldon. Weldon's, I love that dude.
He's great.
I have, so I sat down, I wrote out, what would I need to teach? What would I need to deliver? What I, with equipment and what would everybody need to know? How do you engage with an audience? How do you say, "Hey, thank you for sharing this out. By the way, if you haven't shared already, I'm going to unfriend you." I'm kidding. But like having fun and teaching people how to get other people to share, because that's where all your views come from, is when other people are sharing your content, and how to deliver value and how to communicate and all of that. So I created a course, man. And here's the cool part is I keep adding to it. I love it. I originally, this was going to be a 6-week course with 6 videos per week, and that's it. I just hit 75 videos are in the course now. And this morning I came up with 4 more that I'm going to record to add to it this week.
Lisa's got a great question. As always, Lisa is on it. What's the biggest mistake that people make during a live stream?
That's my favorite question. She must know that. So the biggest mistake that people make during a live stream is they fail to acknowledge their audience. And I see this is huge.
We love you, Lisa. I just want to make sure. I'm following the master's footsteps, man. I'm telling you. So,
you are.
No, you're right.
You really are. See, speakers do this, right? You get on a stage and you may have 200, 300, 400, whatever people in the audience, right? You can't engage with every single one of those people. It's just not possible. You may make eye contact with some. You may even ask, "Hey, if anybody's ever been to a rock concert, show of hands," and everybody. And okay, that's about 80% of the audience. That's it. On a live stream, I can say, "Hey, drop a 1 in the comments if you've ever been to a rock star or a rock concert," or drop a 2 in there if you've ever done a live stream, or drop a 3 if you're thinking about doing a live stream. You're just scared to death. And I can wait on those responses, and then I can pop it up there and say, "Look at that. Lisa Patrick just said 1 and 2. She's been to a concert and she's live streamed." And, and I can pop her screen up on the comment, and I can engage with the audience. If you're not engaging, I see this happen, man. All these great content experts that'll get on a live stream and they'll go, and my book Iconic is the best book since sliced bread and da da da, and you need to go get it.
Right, but
And I know. So
okay, you
like
got that part right. So
it just happened to be the first thing I saw back there behind you. I love it. I love what you're doing, dude.
Subliminal marketing there.
I love it. I love what you're doing. It's freaking amazing.
Well, hey, like I said, I got your course. I'm taking the course. You keep adding so many new videos. I want to say I've completed the course, but this is the course that never ends because you keep coming up with more great stuff. So, but Ken, I wanted to have you on today, not only because you're such a great friend, but I think that you are at the precipice of what's happening right now. You are on the leading edge, not the bleeding edge, because you are able to pull your students back from that bleeding edge of spending too much or doing the wrong thing or making mistakes. And I just think it's information that every one of us in business really, really needs to know. Yeah, Weldon's is going right along. Reading the audience is critical, and engaging and involving the audience. That's one of the things that I say this is my favorite half hour of the day, because it's almost like we have folks. You've seen some of them here with Jerry, Jeff Weimer, and we have others. I mean, they're here every day, and it's kind of like a family feel. And obviously, what we want to do is to grow. But man, I never want to lose all these great folks like Lisa that watch all the time. Yeah.
She's right.
It gives you such an incredible connectivity. I was part of an event this last weekend, and hey, Brian, great to see you too. I was part of an event this last weekend, and I noticed that the person in charge of this 3-day event, was calling out people in the audience in a way that he could never have done live. Even over 2,000 people in this event. It was just amazing. And I heard from him this week, and one of the things he said is, his previous live events, he drew about 1,000 people, mostly from the United States. This time he drew 2,000 people, 2,200 people, and half of them were not in the United States. So what it brings to the table in terms of being able to take your message out, or to take your product out, or your service out to a wider audience is just really, really incredible. Yeah, at least that's a great point. It's but how many folks do we know that do it that way? They want to pontificate as opposed to engage.
And I think that the biggest thing, may I, or are we out of time?
No, we'll go a couple minutes over. Sure, no problem.
One of the biggest things is people, I wrote the ebook, and yes, I'm trying to get your email address so I can talk to you in the future and email. But it's free, and it's worth a ton. And it's the 100livestreamingideas.com, where you can download the ebook for free. We just updated it this morning and re-uploaded a new version of it. And listen, it's people think they don't have anything to offer, so they don't go live. And I find that to be incredibly sad.
Yeah.
I think that's sad, because you don't have to be an iconic speaker like Scott McCain with the godlike voice that he has, and the unbelievably striking good looks, and
oh, man.
And
you need a better monitor, pal. I'm telling you. You help me out with a camera. I need to get you a monitor.
So, but when you maybe you're my mother-in-law. My mother, if I go live or do a YouTube channel, she would become a millionaire within probably a couple of years, because she has all of these old country German recipes that she is absolutely the most amazing cook, and has these old country German recipes that are phenomenal. And she could literally do a little cooking show and grow her YouTube following to millions of followers, write a little ebook, and I'm telling you, she could blow. So many people think Weldon said Scott's head just exploded. So
Pardon me,
but
we're going to have
the-
to
you know,
exchange this. My head's getting bigger. It won't fit in the frame now. You know?
but I think that everybody has something. You have something. I saw Matt Crane. Matt Crane was a professional pitcher in the major leagues in
Oh my gosh.
Major League Baseball. Great, great guy. Known the guy for years. Like, dude, he knows something about pitching, I would bet. Why wouldn't you do a live stream series where you're teaching people the ins and outs, and you could have every freaking 14-year-old kid on planet Earth that would subscribe to your YouTube channel, which, by the way, is most of YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Hey, thank you for recommending Iconic as well. Brian's picking it up
Yeah.
based on your recommendation. So I really appreciate
that's
that.
awesome.
Thank you.
Brian's my boy over in Pittsburgh.
Well, and you've already sold one.
I know, right? I do too. If I could get her to write the daggone thing.
You know,
But
it's so funny. Tammy and I were talking. It's I posted a picture. She made this incredible tater tot casserole that I put a picture of it up on Facebook. And you know something, I could say I found the solution for world peace and post it on Facebook, and it would not get as many likes and shares as her tater tot casserole. And I've said, why don't you just do a little YouTube video of that? And she's got other things that she makes that's so darned incredibly good. Hey, Jason, great to see you, my friend.
Here's all she needs: a tripod.
She's got one. She's got that. And
and
talks to grandkids back in Indiana, and just set it up and make another one of those things. Now, obviously, I have an ulterior motive. I want another tater tot casserole.
Right. Yeah. Maybe I should come out and film the whole thing so I can get in on the tater tot.
Only if you film me from about here up, because from here down it's just going crazy. So
I feel
thanks, Matt.
There you go.
Speaking thing has been good to me for a long time, but if that doesn't work, I may rent myself out on Tinder. That is so funny. Hey, here's my friend Coach Ron. Ron has a radio show in Los Angeles, and I'm going to be his guest on Friday, and I was going to talk about that tomorrow, Ron. But I am thrilled that you're here because I'm going to be Ron's guest on his talk show, 11 o'clock Eastern. I'm sorry, 11 o'clock Pacific. On Friday. So tomorrow I'm going to put up the link so that everybody can listen to Ron's show. But he has a terrific talk show in the Los Angeles area and just does such a great job. So I'll be on that tomorrow, Coach Ron. More casseroles, please. Well, I posted on Facebook. So if you go on my Facebook page, Tammy gave me the recipe and I posted the recipe, and man, I'll promise it's
still not the same as watching somebody make it on video.
Yes. No, you're exactly right, because she can kind of talk you through it and walk you through it. Lisa, I am so honored. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
She's a sweetheart.
She absolutely, and what great work she does. Holy cow. I mean,
she does. She made our graphic. She made our graphic, that background graphic for the Ken and Glenn show with a guy named Scott with the popcorn and all that. She made that.
I did not know. Thank you, Lisa. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. Cheers. And thanks, Weldon, or send me a DM and I'll send it to you as well. This show has changed. I'm now a cooking show. So.
You need to have a landing page to collect email addresses. Go to this page and sign up for the recipe.
That's going to be my upsell on my product. Buy the product and we'll ship you a tater tot casserole. I think that's the greatest upsell of all time. Tammy's tater tot casserole is coming your way. Give you mine. So, well, Ken, man, I really appreciate it so much. It is always great hanging out. Always great talking to you. There's where you can download the live streaming ideas. I got that right? 100livestreamingideas.com.
100livestreamingideas.com. That's right. Yep.
Go there and check that out. I've got the website here behind me, but you can take a look at kenwalls.com. It'll tell you all the information there. But my friend, always great being with you. And
Thank you.
I want to remind everybody to make sure they check out on Sunday nights. He has Top Billing, the Ken and Glenn Show. We do that every time, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. Hang in there.
Brian Hess just nailed it, dude. He just nailed it with that comment.
Who did? I'm sorry. What?
Brian Hess. Look at the comment.
Tater tots, God. I'm doomed, man. I'm doomed. Oh, there you go. Pam's ready. Then we got dessert. Now we got the cat. We got the dessert. We just need to know who's bringing the drinks, and
right.
We're in good shape. Hang in there, pal. I'll be right back. Let me wrap up here.
Yeah.
Thanks to Ken for being with us today. Holy cow! What a great time and such great information too. And thank you for sharing this program. As I mention all the time, we have more viewers. It still strikes me so strange. We have more viewers on the replay than we do live. And the reason that we do that is because you were kind enough to share it. So thanks for that. For free resources on how to create distinction, everything from audio program to ebooks to all types of resources, all you need to do is go to distinctionnation.com. Everything on there is absolutely free. All you need to do is sign in and connect with the nation. So join us at distinctionnation.com. As mentioned, we're going to have a guest on Thursday. It's Stacy Hankey going to be talking with us about leadership and